Hello there, my name is Jeff Rothman. I'm the host of The Other Side, which is a program that deals with mental health issues and recovery. It's a program produced by Community Counseling of Bristol County. This is my initial show, so if I speak too quickly or speak and stumble, please forgive me. I'm joined here by, I'm happy to introduce Ellen Bruder-Moore, who is the Vice President of Community Support Services for CCBC. Ellen, thank you for joining me. We'd like to, today we'd like to discuss a little bit about the Community-Based Flexible Support Program that was awarded to CCBC back on July 1st. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great. Well, yep. Thank you so much for having me here today, Jeff. I'm really excited to be here. And this is my first time on the other side, too. So I joined CCBC, Community Counseling of Bristol County, November of 2007. And I haven't stopped running since I walked in the door. What's exciting about CCBC is our CEO, Phil Shea, is willing to really keep an open mind about the types of services and supports we provide. And I've been able to really bring in the things that I'm really interested in focusing on, which is the ability for individuals to recover and move forward in their lives, though they may have a mental illness or struggle with issues around recovery and need rehabilitative supports. CCBC is willing to work side by side with folks in whatever their needs are. And I do come with a long history of working in the field of psychiatric rehabilitation, mostly in the clubhouse movement, which focuses on bringing people into a work-ordered day and focusing on their strengths and abilities. Though they may have been diagnosed with a mental illness, they have a lot of strengths and abilities. So the agency has the Recovery Learning Community, which you are very familiar with and have worked as a part of. And then we also, in the past, were operating what was called CRS, Community Rehabilitation and Support Services. And in the past couple of years, the Department of Mental Health decided to go through a major transformation of services and move towards asking individuals and their families and any of their support systems, what do they want and what do they need to be able to live independently and to be able to live the highest quality life possible in the community. And so there were two systems that were run parallel. One was the group residential and supported housing system that the department funded, as well as the CRS services, which was more case management for individuals living in the community. And both of those have now come together into what's now called community-based flexible supports. And CCBC was awarded the contract for both the Taunton area and the Attleboro area starting July 1st.
So tell me, because I know firsthand about how we got the contract, how exciting was it when CCBC actually got that word that we in fact have the CBFS program?
Well, I can't tell you how exciting it was because we worked so hard to put together something that we felt would really be a wonderful support system for individuals who would be part of this program. The way our agency went about this was really special right from the beginning. It wasn't proposal writers coming in to just put something together. It was developing a team of people who included individuals with lived experience with mental health issues, everyone throughout the agency who had anything to give towards this proposal, people who had expertise around employment services, case management services, family members, nurses. So we brought in everyone who had experience to a team that put together this proposal. So to me, the excitement of doing this was that we really were understood, that people listened to what we were putting forward, that the system we were hoping to put together was something that would be really helpful to people, not just something on paper and not just something where people were told, if you do this or do that, you'll be fine. We wanted to put together something where people were really involved in their own rehabilitation and recovery process.
You mentioned the Recovery Learning Community, which is on Main Street in Taunton. That's where I began my career with CCBC, and I know that my excitement in working for CCBC was that it was focused on recovery.
Yes.
So what in terms of a breakdown of the CBFS, what can you tell us about the program that makes it different from conventional thinking up to this point?
Right. I think up until now, my experience, since I did run both CRS programs and residential treatment programs or supported housing programs, was that everything was compartmentalized, and people's lives were, you go here for this service, you go there for this service. We were trying to develop an integrated service model where an individual could get whatever their needs that they had, if they needed some support services, if they needed support around rehabilitative interventions, if they needed help around even being in a supervised setting, still having some group living situations, if they just needed housing. Whatever their needs were could be integrated around them as a person based on their needs and what their wants were in life. Whereas I feel in the past, a lot of times programs were designed for people to fit into those models.
Right.
And this was more, how can we be flexible enough to meet with each individual, do an assessment with them, find out what are your needs, how can we design some interventions with you side by side to help you do better in your life? What is it that you want to do? And I have to say, every time I meet with someone who is a part of one of our contracts, that's the first thing I say. And many times folks look at me and say, you're asking me what I want? Because many times people have been told what they need or what they should be doing.
Right. I think in my own experience of being bipolar, I think the thinking back in 1992 when I was diagnosed was maintenance. Here's your medication, go to your appointments. But I think the field is moving more towards recovery. Oh, yeah. But if the program was implemented on July 1st, so if you had to gauge how it's done, has it fulfilled your expectations to this point?
It's been difficult. I'll tell you why. Because we're a new vendor providing the services, and we did take over providing support and services to a lot of new individuals. We needed to get to know those individuals. Yep. We want to find out what their needs are and how we can be supportive to them. And we're working with the Department of Mental Health in a new way. So it has been a challenge.
Yep.
And putting together, as the department knows, a very new system with a new process for data collection, a new process for outcomes development, a new process for paperwork. There's a lot of requirements for the contract that we want to make sure we're on top of, while at the same time getting to the focus that we really want to, as you know,
yep.
of bringing peer specialists into the model, of bringing a focus on employment into the model, because prior to this, employment was a separate program. Residential programming and CRS programming, community rehab and support, didn't focus as much on helping people to find employment or bringing in people with lived experience to be actual workers in the program. So we're bringing in a lot of things all at once.